Men we've known.
Bam,
Women we've known the longest.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do the women. Hi, welcome. Holy shit, I was gone for a day, and I come back, and I don't recognize any of the names. What happened? Well, oh, my goodness. Look at this women's leaderboard. At the top, going to the CrossFit Games, Gabriella Magawa. By the way, good morning, everyone. Thanks. By the way, thank you, everyone, for all your support, and thank you in the comments I saw right before the show started. You guys were writing in the comments that the Sevan Podcast was going on, and I can't tell you how important that is and how much I appreciate that. Clearly, you guys make the show. Gabriella Magawa, first place, then Annie Thorsdottir, then Laura Horvat, Emma Tall, Karen Freyova, Matilda Garns, Manon Enganese, number 8, Ayo Wunger, 9, Elisa Fuliano, 10th, Emma McQuaid. What did they take, 11 here?
Yes.
Yep.
And then Rebecca Weitzen. I don't see Sarah Sigmundsdottir's name on there. Let's talk about that first after I say hi to everyone. Hello, Mr. Spin. Hello, Mike Halpin. Halpin, where are you? Are you in the States? Are you in the United States?
Yeah, I'm on my way to church.
Oh, awesome. Okay. God bless you. And John Young, have you been to church yet?
No, I have not. No.
Okay, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot.
Making me feel bad. I'm missing church for the Sevan.
There's time.
It's a little early there still, John. I'm sure you'll get it in.
You can go to an afternoon or evening service. Okay, and then over here on the camera of the floor, we have Pedro from Coffee Wads and Pods. Oh shit, I forgot my coffee. Okay, who wants to give me the recap? Let's get Halpin before we lose him to the Lord. Halpin, what's going on here? What did I miss? How excited is Gabriella Magawa? What happened with the women's race?
She had an amazing last day here. Well, not here. I'm in Cincinnati, but in Berlin. And, just really sent it on the last 2 workouts. I didn't get to see much of it because I honestly slept in, so I might lean on Mr. Spin there. But in the last workout, she did what she had to do to just keep the lead on Laura and Annie. And that's what I know at the moment.
The workout we were all tripping on, I guess, for Gabby, right, was workout number 2. Was that the one? And I guess maybe even workout number 6, correct?
Yeah, I mean, just any upper body pulling, where that's the crux of the workout.
And so she has a 14th on workout number 2, and on workout number 6, she got a 4th. So 20 handstand push-ups is nothing to the great Gabby Magawa. She's the real deal.
Yeah, or Laura Horvath.
She got Laura won workout 6.
And I want to say, I think Brian Spin called her to win workout 6.
I did.
Sure enough, she did. So, I don't think this means she's any better at handstand push-ups. By the way, if deficit handstand push-ups comes out, she's still probably going to be the last place person. But 20 is just not enough to make any kind of a difference.
Guys, what happened? I'm shocked. I'm shocked that she has a first place in that. But Mr. Spin, you weren't. Why not?
I mean, the women what we've seen the last 2 weeks previous to this is the rope climbs, especially the ones coming off of the wall on the way back. It was just devastating, and that's she was so strong at those. I mean, she sat down and started going straight up the rope, and I think she broke up the handstand push-ups in either 2 or 3 sets. Looked fine. Like John said, it's the deficit strict handstand push-ups that get her, and so I expected her to make up so much ground on the rope climbs that the handstand push-ups, she could just be controlled, be smart and smooth, and get an advantage. And that's what happened.
What's the world record for workout 6?
She was right on it. It was her and Danielle Brandon. Brandon was 10:39.
Wow. God, it's so easy to forget how good Laura is, right? She has 10:40. Second place is 45 seconds behind her, Annie Thorsdottir, 11:25, and then a whole minute behind her, behind Laura, was third place, Elisa Fuliano. Crazy. When the weekend started, the last time I paid attention to this thing, Emma Tall was coming out hot and looking great. What ended up happening with her during the weekend?
She still did fine. She just wasn't as great, and the women ahead of her showed why they are fitter. Annie, Gabby, and Laura all destroyed workout 6 and 7. If you go just scroll over to 6 and 7, Gabby's 4th and 4th, Annie's 2nd and 7th, Laura's 1st and 1st. I mean, that's pretty nuts. Where it went wrong for Emma, though, I mean, she still did great, 5th and 6th. I guess just workout 4 and 5, where she came out of, but we already knew that because after day 2.
I'm only picking on Laura here because she has the potential, obviously, to win the CrossFit Games, a leader on many people's predictions. What happened in workout 5? Wouldn't she traditionally do pretty well at that? That's the 8 snatches, relatively light snatches, and then jump on the treadmill and run your ass off. Isn't she a great runner?
So it's interesting. Workout 5 has been weird this whole semifinals. They're like people you would think would do amazing on it haven't done as well. I mean, Justin got 24th in that workout, and that'd be something that I think he would be pretty darn good at. It's not like as a bad workout. It's just been weird the way some people have done bad and some people have done well in. Workout 1 is the same way with the sled. There are people who have done well and people who have done bad, and you wouldn't expect like the outcomes of those 2 workouts, 1 and 5 specifically. And if you look, those are the only workouts where Laura has done bad in. Every other workout, she's 4th, 2nd, 1st.
Is there an explanation for that? Other than just like, wow, this is bizarre?
There's a growing speculation that I spent about 3 hours on with John Singleton last night. That,
Halpin, you're so
about the
good.
end lane when she was on that runner?
Yeah.
Let me hear it. I want to hear it. Oh, hold on. Before you say what it is, hey, Jake, I'm going to send you a link into your Instagram. I think this is you. I guess I should follow back. Are you Jake Chapman 85? I'm going to send you a link. Jake's roadside at the Isle of Man. And okay, yep, there he is. Shit. And maybe we get a bird's eye view. Okay, go ahead, Halpin. This is crazy. I can't believe you've already investigated this. Actually, I can't believe it.
Well, yeah, John reached out to me. He posted it on his Instagram early this morning where we looked into lane 8 specifically. In lane 8, in the ones I could actually see when the runners got on, or the athletes got on the runners and got off, there's a distinct difference in lane 8 versus other lanes. It's not a lot. It's like 3 to 5 seconds, but there are athletes. The only one that sort of bucks that trend is Heat 1 women's lane 8. She is actually a very skilled track athlete. It's on his story, I believe. And she got 19th on that workout, but she got 2nd in that heat. But that heat also included women that were getting like nearly time capped. In, I believe, 5 instances of the 12 total heats, 9 of which I could actually review from start to finish. The athlete in lane 8 got last in that heat.
Mike, hold on 1 second. It looks like
Sure.
It looks like we're gonna get an interview, piggyback on an interview here with Pedro. Let's see what's going on. This is the guy that won 3 events. Pedro, can you unmute yourself?
Jelle Hoste. Europe's Brent Fikowski.
Never mind. Pedro froze. It is Europe's Brent Fikowski, 6'3", winner of 3 events. He's the guy.
I mean, he's looking like it, man. When Brent Fikowski came on scene and won 4 events in the games, everybody was like, who the freak is this guy? Came out of nowhere. Nobody knew. I mean, he's and this guy's kind of, in my opinion, he's got a Brent Fikowski feel to him. I don't know how everybody else feels, but.
And I got one of the guys messaged me on Instagram about this guy. So we should have known about him last year. He ended up not submitting his first score in quarterfinals last year because of not meeting the deadline to submit his score. I don't know if there was like a time change thing or something like that. But if you look at the quarterfinals from last year, he took like 1,088th and the rest of his finishes were in the 50s in quarterfinals. So he would have been at semifinals last year. So he's not brand new to the scene. It was just a time difference issue. So he and Manon both had issues last year.
Take a quick break from the show really quick. Jake, I can't. There we go. Holy shit, Jake. The only reason I'm bringing you on is because, well, a couple reasons. Holy shit, man, dude, you look fit as shit. Thanks for popping on here. Where are you right now? You're trackside at the Isle of Man. Those are motorcycles flying around the island.
Yes, Evie. So we're on the course. Hang on. So I'm sat.
What is going on over there?
I'm sat on a ledge. My parents' house is over there. My wife's there. They're coming down this road. Hang on.
How fast are those bikes going by right there?
So they're coming by at about 140 miles an hour, and they're going into that corner, and they're taking it at about 100, and that bend is pretty sharp.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Isle of Man is a piece of land that's I didn't even know it was there. It's in between Ireland and the United Kingdom, and it's a highway that goes around the perimeter of the island, right? And they shut the whole island down and they race around it as fast as they can until someone dies.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario is like a B road. They're not great roads, but it's.
I mean, better than anything Pedro has in Ireland. I mean, it's better. You know, don't be an asshole. Some people have to live in Ireland. You know.
Yeah, so it's about 37.5 mile track, and it goes around the center of the island, up around the mountain at the top there. But yeah, it's a bit mental, like you've said in the past. They at top speed, so someone clocked 202 miles an hour on a straight a couple of days ago. So they're topping 200 miles an hour on two wheels around the road that, if you have a look down there, there's no barriers, there's no crash, anything.
It's sunny.
It's lovely, mate. Yeah, for the last week or so, we've had, well, it's not hot from where you are, but hang on.
I mean, you have some color. When I think of English and Irish people, I just think of them as butt white. You have actual color. Yeah, you're darker than Pat Vellner.
That's not hard, is it? He's ginger as well.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go, mate. There you go. So,
well, thank you so much, Jake. That's so awesome. I'm stoked. It's the first for the show to be filming at the Isle of Man. Maybe we can do it. How many more days is the race going?
So there's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday now. So they got a couple of days off throughout the week, but I can go to a fast trip if you want. I can call in again another day.
Okay, I'd love that. Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. You the man.
Sevi.
Great community. All right, brother.
Nice one. Cheers, guys.
Did you call me Sevi?
I did. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, totally. It made my heart flutter. Thank you. Sevi.
Have a good one. Cheers.
All right, bye. What a fucking good dude. I apologize. Meanwhile, we have Pedro. Let's hear from Pedro, and then we'll get back to John Singleton's lane 8. Pedro, so is that guy on cloud 9?
That's Jelle Hoste. Yeah, he's pretty happy. So the guy that's in charge of like media access and stuff kind of walked over and was staring at me, so I just dropped off because I knew how that conversation was going to go. So I didn't really get talking to him. They're all getting drug tested now, so all the top 2 heats were brought out and they're getting drug tested. That's basically it. Oh, Fabian Benito. Yeah. So I was talking to his videographer, and he said that he was like, look how showbiz I am. He was like crying in his hotel room last night because he thought he was out. He was like, I've fucked it basically. So he's been like ultra stressed, really emotional, like overstimulated, everything. And then he just blacked out after the end of that sandbag workout, and he was like over on the side in like a little penned-in area where they kind of kept the second last heat in case, you know, like to bring them all back out for the announcement. Yeah. And they were like pouring water on him. They had him in the recovery position. They had ice on the back of his neck. And then
what's the recovery position? Face down, ass up?
Like fetal position, kind of like leg over to one side.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. And then they sat him up, and I was like, oh, he's okay. And then he just like flopped back down again. So he's like that for about maybe 10 minutes, up and down. The whole other work, like the next heat had finished.
Okay.
By the time he was like standing up, and they brought him off then, and he came back wearing a t-shirt and stuff, and then he was like looking up at his coach, you know, trying to figure out if he was in or out or what was going on. And the cameraman or whatever was standing beside me, and I said, "Oh, are you with him? Are you with Fabi?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, he's in." And then he was like, "How do you know that?" And I said, I just said there's a bunch of nerds in a group chat who said it. So he actually took a video of Barkley had sent me the league, you know, the finished leaderboard. So he took a video of that and was like, "Oh, we'll put that in our documentary about him." I was like, "Okay." Like, you owe Sevan 49.
So he's beside himself right now. He went from crying in his room like a little bitch last night to faking to making it.
Yeah, like it was the guy I was talking to shares a room with him, and he was like, "Oh, him and his girlfriend were there," and he was like,
that's Pedro. Live from Berlin, our European correspondent, Fernando PMIP Premium Services, $49.99. It's been a while since I've been able to catch you guys live. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate it, Fernando. Halpin, going back, by the way, that's a long trip to church. That shows some serious commitment. Let's go back to John Singleton's post.
It was.
Lane, what are we looking at here on this? Can you see this? This is on his post. Yeah. Lane 8 of event number 5. We have some concerns about something that's going on there.
So what this is right here is something I sent John. Is the heat finishes averaged for each of the lanes. So you can see lane 7, it averaged a 2.8 finish for the heat. So is the fastest lane, and then lane 8 right next to it, it averaged 7.8
for men and women.
Men and women, yeah.
But that workout was just snatch and runner. Are you saying something was off with the runner? Like it was recording the mile slower, the meters slower, the yard slower?
Yeah, that's the speculation. Meters is that it was, or that it, and then there are some athletes that have already said, at least to John, one of them being Jacqueline Dahlstrom, is that it felt slower. I don't know what that feels. I don't really run on those things too often. But and then there, I think I was saying, Red, as we were seeing the Isle of Man pop up there, there's a track athlete, Massette. She's the only one to do well in that lane, but she's actually a track athlete. She has like clock times on the 400 hurdle, from what John sent me. That she basically, the story there would be that she should have smoked that heat, and she did come in second, but she got beat by some other people, and then she finished 19th overall on that event, where she was and so what the tracking I did with John is a few things. It's one, tracking the times that they were on the runner specifically, not just the times of like, well, did they take too long on the snatch or something like that. The order in which they got on the runner. So if they got on 4th or 5th, why did they get off 9th or 10th? And like I said, in the majority of the cases that I was able to review, because there's a couple heats where there's just not camera angles enough to be able to show it, that runner was slower than all of the rest. Now, from what I've heard, if you had to bet that runner was calibrated poorly, would you yes or no? I'm giving you $1,000 to put on it. Oof. While I sit in a church parking lot here. Wow.
If the answer is no, then this should not be a thing.
Good point, John. Thanks for wasting my time, Mike.
You shouldn't even bring it up. The answer should be yes if we're even trying to talk about it.
Yeah, Mike.
I think there's enough to speculate. If I would.
Dude, it looks huge to me. 7.8. No one else is even in the 7s, and this is closer to 8 set for place. That's with both men and women. That's 12 heats of data you have right there.
It's about 9 because there's 3 heats. There's one heat for the men, heat 2, where it cuts out for 2 minutes. I don't know if anybody was watching it, but it just doesn't.
No one watched it. No one watched it.
Of course not. And then, I'm continuing to talk about it, John. I get what you're saying. So I believe that, yes, there's enough speculation to say that there's concern there. $1,000 is a lot of money to me, so I don't know that I'd spend that much. But
John Singleton writes, his interpretation, if you were in lane 7, the probability was you'd finish in the top 3. However, if you were in lane 8, the probability is you'd be in the bottom 3. John, you're not liking this, Mr. Young? Well said, by the way, Halp, and thank you for the data. You're not liking this, John?
I just don't. I mean, Jacqueline is with John Singleton, yes?
I'm providing all the information, yes.
Yeah,
Jacqueline
literally and figuratively. As a coach, and they sleep in the same bed. And they sleep in the same bed.
Super fit girl who should make the games, didn't do well, complains to her boyfriend who's got pool, and then he goes to Mike Halpin. So there is a little bit of a thing wherever this one seems to be slower, but it's a freaking runner. It's just hard to buy. It's like the sled thing. I feel like people just deal with certain things, and I mean, if she would have made the games, I bet we don't talk about this. And so who do you have all the people that were in lane 6? Because lane 6 was
lane 6,
yeah, because that was 6.8 and that was 7.8, right? So let's go look at lane 6. If there's anybody that's fast that we think should have done well but didn't do well in lane 6,
that's not going to tell you lanes.
Then it's a non-story.
Well, I will tell you this. Jacqueline Dahlstrom, by the way, has a 28th, a 12th, a 14th, a 20th, a 23rd, a 13th, and a 5th. So she basically had a pretty consistent with her finishes.
The problem there for lane 6, I don't know the name of the athlete, but she nearly got time capped, and she was on the runner for 4 minutes and 48 seconds, but she was jogging on the runner.
And that skews it? You're saying that skews it?
Yeah, that skews it. If I take that out, like if I just take times, and I can send you all this, John. If I just take times, lane 6 is the slowest, but it has an athlete that was on the runner for 4 minutes and 48 seconds. The next slowest time is lane 8 by average, and it's like 3:19. If I take out that outlier of a time, lane 6 is 3:08. And I'm talking about times on the runner. I'm not talking about heat times or finish times.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't think you can blame the runner as the reason you don't make the games.
Yeah, no. There's 6 other events where she could have probably done something else, or these other athletes could do something else. I'm saying that Jacqueline plus Mossette, who should have done well better in that heat from what I've heard about her, plus at least 2 or 3 athletes that did very well on the Burj Khalifa event. Again, this is
that was the stair run in Dubai.
No, I like that. If you do well in that event, you should do well in this event.
Yeah.
I like that comparison.
I think there's enough comparison to at least address it and talk about it. At the end of the day, maybe just luck of the draw of the lanes. There's just certain people that got put in certain lanes, and those lanes were slower by the athlete in this event after 4 other events where they got trashed on the first day and the second day. So possibly there.
Okay.
And for some context.
But
I like it. I'm putting my $1,000 on that something's wrong with the runner. John Young, something wrong with the runner? I know what you're saying, that it shouldn't matter whether she goes or not, but something's wrong with the runner.
There is something wrong with that runner, and that runner's slower, all right? It was sticking or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Wear toe spacers. Nothing. No. I agree with you. I agree with you. You have to win. Maybe you're at the games and a dirt devil blows through the bike track. Yeah, you got to deal with the dirt devil blowing through the bike track. You got to deal with following Saxon or Spencer Panchek to the finish line a lap too early. You got to deal with it. I'm not saying it's like a deal breaker, but I do think something was wrong with the run.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking.
And Jacqueline is a bubble athlete. And Jacqueline is a bubble athlete, John. It does hurt a little bit. But he is also banging the guy who's speculating that something's wrong with the run.
And Mossette is a singleton athlete as well, just for some context.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's speaking up for his athletes. If this was Kotler or another coach that had a few athletes on the same lane, and that lane did worse than everybody else, and they've seen Mossette smoke the men, from what I was told in that workout, then yeah, they see a concern there, and they have firsthand knowledge. That being said, it's his girlfriend that didn't get right on the bubble.
Let me say one more thing about John Singleton. He may be the most senior person at the fucking venue CrossFit wise, period. He may have more CrossFit experience than anyone at that entire venue, by the way. The fucker's been around forever, too. So he's got some street cred, too. Yeah. Who? Boz. Yeah, maybe Boz. Yeah, him and Boz.
But I think it's in John's story. I didn't see all of it. I got tagged in a bit of it. CrossFit did respond. They did review the appeal. Their statement, more or less, is that any of these machines have a variance that is acceptable.
Oh.
It basically just means that they're not going to do anything. If they were, I was stating that it would have been at most like a couple seconds, and that would be like mind-boggling if CrossFit actually allowed that to happen. I did not see a circumstance, and then this gets to what maybe John is getting to as well. Like, why are we talking about this? We started this conversation with that this event has gone weird for a lot of what we had projected that it should go. We're seeing track athletes do really well in some lanes, Sydney Wells, and we're seeing track athletes do really poorly in other lanes. I'm adding to that with data analysis that says there could be something to that. Those were two different semifinals, 3 weeks apart, but there's something there that could be there that gets back to what John originally started with in this conversation is this event doesn't seem to align with who we thought would do well in the event. And that even gets to what Brian talked about a month ago when this got announced is I would have loved to see this event not on a runner, because when you invite a machine into any of this, there is then a variance that is being invited of how those machines were all calibrated to say that they're doing the exact same thing versus if you just put these athletes on a track or somewhere that says they just did snatches and ran 800 meters, you're going to see quite a difference in the outcome of this event.
Mike Howell's been very thorough. Gabby, Lady 2742. Gabby looks great, but I'm really excited that Rebecca Vidison made it. I think she came back after 2 ACL repairs. We'll get to that in 1 second. Kelly Van Dinther, $20 Canadian. Thank you. Okay. Back to the women's leaderboard, and then we got to go. We spent so much time on it. Halpin, this is really generous of you. Has the service started, by the way?
Oh, no, I was meeting a friend here. It starts in like 30 minutes.
Okay, tell them to hold it until we're done. Pedro, go ahead.
No, I'm going to go now in a minute. So is there anything you want to ask me before I head off?
Were there any other injuries, by the way? We heard that Fabian Benito was on a stretcher. Anyone else was on a stretcher during the week?
No, I didn't see anything like that, but obviously a lot of people like Reggie Fassel pulled out today. That was 8 in the men's side. There was something on his pec. Not something on it. There was an issue with his pec. He didn't have
was it a sellout crowd there?
Yeah, it was packed and loud, and there was a lot of people. You see, I think a lot of it is to do with the environment, like the building, because like I was talking to Michael Dalton and a few others that did the US and Don Fowle as well that were there and then here, and they were like, it just hits different when it's an arena, indoor arena versus a kind of sprawling convention center where it's like, just one big room, whereas this is like it's enclosed, there's lights, it's hard to tell if it's daytime or nighttime when you're inside, and then like the crowd gets crazy loud. There's a shit ton of Icelandics, there's loads of French, Moritz Fiebig, like loads of German people going crazy when he finished on the podium. He's great. He's a real showman. Like the crowd absolutely love him, and rightly so. Like I don't know if you saw his forward roll over the bar yesterday, and like anytime he's doing an event, I think it's on the CrossFit page. It's really cool. I
was drinking margaritas with Medeiros' mom and dad. I'm sorry.
Okay, acceptable. But he finished. When most people jump over and do a slide, he did like a tumble over the bar and stood up and just had a great pose. He's a real showman. He's real good. He's really good at working the crowd. And I was actually talking to Cam Porter yesterday, and he was saying that that's something that he thinks is missing in like Oceania, that he felt was more here in Europe, where he was at Torrey and he was like, Jake Douglas did like clean, world record at the time, and basically just kind of nodded and did a little fist bump. Whereas he was like, if that was here, if that was in Europe, the crowd would be going crazy. He'd be like, whoever did it would be riling them up. Like he was like, we've no showman in Oceania, where there's a few in Europe. Like they're kind of, from looking at it, they're very emotional. Like Fabian Benito was like roaring, crying at the end. Emma McQuaid was crying when she was waiting to get in. You know, like I think it's just they're very emotive people, maybe Europeans, apart from the finish, obviously.
Well, how about this too? How about Laura Horvat with her? After she won, she gave a speech, and what a I mean, she did what every athlete should do. She looked up at the crowd and she said thank you. And I'm trying to remember, like you just there was something about that made me think, wow, she gets it more than anyone else I've seen cross the finish line at any semifinal. She looked at that speech she gave.
She's great. She's really great, and a lot of fans for her there as well. Like I think everyone.
Maybe just Europeans are just more polite than Americans. Period. More thankful.
Pedro, did you see Sarah's event 6? And like, can you describe her emotions through that, or if she had any interaction with Kotler after?
There was just eyes. I didn't see anything afterwards, but there was eyes during. You know, that kind of, fuck, what am I going to do? Look across the floor. But like, that must be such a shit situation for all of them. Like, just.
Event six was the chipper with the rope climbs, the handstand push-ups, the pirouette, and Sarah Sigmundsdottir didn't finish that workout and finished.
She didn't do any rope climbs.
Sixth. Holy shit! Why? What happened? Is this the end of Sarah Sigmundsdottir? Do you have a eulogy for her?
It looked sad, Sevan. It was hard. It was hard to watch her. But it was
the same. Jen Moore had the same with the handstand push-ups, where she was really like. She flew through everything, got the handstand push-ups. I just couldn't do it. And then eventually she was getting ones after a while. But like, it's gut-wrenching to watch because you're looking at a person who's just failing in front of thousands of people. And I remember hearing Lucy Campbell talking about it with the run and clean event at the games, where she was like, that was by far my worst experience in sport, where everybody's watching you fail something and there's literally nothing you can do about it. And you're just like, well, I have to keep failing because if I stop trying, do you know what I mean? It's just awful.
Eaton Beaver, use the broken science approach to squelch this topic. I mean, there's a heavy bar in the mix. It's not just a running event. He's referring to what we were talking about earlier about speculation of the.
He just used the runner times, not the snatch times.
That's correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Adios.
Pedro, you're a fantastic correspondent. Yes, please have a coffee on us and bill it to the podcast, please.
Will do. Thanks.
Send your invoice to Mike Halpin. He's our accountant. Mike, end of Sarah Sigmundsdottir. That's it. And what is she doing with Kotler? I thought she was a training think tank athlete.
She was with Perrin. Yeah. It sounded like they've been working and talking since Wadapalooza, from what I had heard. I'd let Brian probably speak to that closer. But it doesn't look great at all. It's sad. It's a bit sad to see. Like, I had picked Sarah for a few things. I really thought she was going to do well in this workout yesterday when we were talking about it. It's just, you don't like to see it go this way. You want to see these athletes like Annie or BKG or others just continually to be successful. She's been in a lot of coaching environments. I hope the Kotler one, it's fairly short so far, so it's hard to really put anything on anybody like that, since his name now gets brought up in this. But it is sad to see.
She likes to move around, right? I mean, that's her MO, right?
Yeah, she's got quite a list of. Go ahead.
Is that a problem, you think, or no? Or no one would know besides her?
I mean, based on what Kotler said yesterday when he jumped on our recap show, it was basically like, I keep hearing that she's gone through a lot of stuff that, people couldn't imagine. I have no idea what that means. But just jumping around from coach to coach, the lack of consistency, the injuries that she's had, it's going to be tough to climb that ladder again.
I think it's unfair to judge her on moving around after hearing that from Kotler. I don't think we should.
Hearing what?
Yeah.
He's saying like she's been through stuff that you can't imagine or she hasn't brought to public and she could. And I mean, I'm not going to speculate on that, but I think it's unfair to, if that is the case, whatever it is, I think it's unfair to judge her on moving so much or jumping from coach to coach. I do think we can judge her on her performance and how she does in competitions and who are with her current coach, right? I mean, she's just been with Kotler for 2 months, so I'm not going to say it's Kotler's fault or Sarah's fault. But I mean, I'd be interested to hear whatever post she has to make, because she didn't do one legless rope climb. That's not
games caliber shit.
No, and it's not like she hasn't been able to do them before. You know what I mean? Like Katrin, I'm like, man, legless rope climbs, I'm worried for her. Colton, legless rope climbs, I'm worried for him, because they've shown that's a hard thing for them. It's a weakness in their game. And then that has not been Sarah's case. And she couldn't do one, not one. Sevan, you could probably get out there and do one. It might be everything you
probably have. What do you mean probably?
We've seen it, haven't we? Didn't you do like 20 and then one legless?
Yeah. I'm a fucking rope climbing machine.
So, I mean, I'm just wondering if she's got, something wrong that we don't know. Lazar Đukić can do ring muscle.
She has a labia tear. Rambler says she has a labia tear.
And he couldn't do one. It ends up he had the Spanish flu, So I don't know what's wrong with her as far as if she's done or if she makes the games. I mean, she's teetering the line.
Hey, she's obviously injured, right? If you can't do one rope climb and you're as good as her, she's one of the greatest to ever do it. She's one of the most promising people. She's had a bad injury. She's gotten older. She moves around a lot. She's unique. She's in a world of her own, right? The way you would describe Sarah Sigmundsdottir. Everything about her situation.
Yeah. I would be surprised if she ever made the games again. And if she does, I'd be super happy for her. Similar to how well she did. I thought Katrin would make it, but I also thought the sport kind of passed her up. And it hasn't.
Patched her up or passed her up?
Passed her up. For, everybody's just bitter now.
Katrin. Yeah. Okay.
So, and I feel the same way about Sarah. It's just to a greater degree right now. But Katrin surprised me, and I'm hoping Sarah does next year. I would be surprised if she ever made it again, though, the way this looked.
Logan Mars, Sevan is only a torso. I've yet to see his legs on a stream. All things are legless, including his podcast. Listen, I'm perfectly proportioned as long as my pants are on. When my pants are off, it's a different story. But you couldn't tell if I was 3 feet tall or 7 feet tall unless I was, if I was standing there. Perfectly proportioned. Okay. Anything else we want to say about the women? Anything like just holy shit? It looks like this thing played out pretty much a little different order than we thought, but pretty much, yep, we told you so, except for maybe this number 11, Rebecca Fittison, right? Fittison.
I was surprised by Ella Wunger. I've seen her in some of the other off-season competitions and just did not expect her to have the strength in some of the events, but looks like she may have shored that up over the last few months.
Great.
Yeah, Ella and Rebecca both are two new names that we need to learn about.
Which two people, John?
Ella Wunger and Rebecca Fittison.
I feel like I've heard a Wunger's name before. I feel like Brian's talked about her.
She's with the program, or I believe she's also with John.
How about this girl? This Fittison girl, is she tall? She looks tall.
She is
173 centimeters.
Yeah, 5'8". She's 5'8".
taller than Annie and some of the others. Yeah.
I don't think Annie's like 5'9". I thought.
Oh, I think for some reason I had Annie as like 170, maybe in my head.
And she's got crossovers, maybe.
I think she's got crossovers.
Everybody's got crossovers now. So.
Okay. Well, she looks like a Ferrari. She looks like she's ready to get it, right? She looks like the real deal. She got her nutrition dialed. She looks like a fucking fast machine.
Yeah, it's great for these rookies to be able to do something like this. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. I don't think she's been to the games one way or the other before, but.
And she was one of those athletes that we talked about where not finishing in the top 10 those first two events, getting in, she did it while Sarah did not. So Rebecca got 27th and 18th to start off.
Let's go over to the boys real quick. What is going on with this dude, Jelle? How does he have 3 first place finishes, but he's 4th?
So if you look,
is this a Guima Heros again?
No,
no. Okay.
It's not Guima Heros.
Okay.
Sorry, that was such a trash comparison.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What's going on with Aya is hot. I agree. LD
So
performance. She's beautiful.
I want you to think like he's like Fikowski, but in 2015, where Fikowski had holes in that and he didn't make it by a couple points. Since this guy's in Europe and he's not in North America, he makes it because people aren't as strong. If you look at his snatch, it's 275, and Linda, he did not finish. He's basically 3 years ago or 5 years ago Fikowski. Or Fikowski when he didn't make it. I guess Fikowski's been in the game a long time. So 10 years ago, Fikowski. Like super, super fit, endurance through the roof, but just weak, and he's 6'2". So obviously there's going to be some workouts that anatomically he's going to have a disadvantage.
How does a dude who's 6'2" not finish Linda when it's fixed weights?
Right. He should. I mean, exactly. So he's not super strong, but he's super, super fit, and he's 6'2", 216, meaning there's going to be workouts that he absolutely obliterates everybody. And fun fact, he beat Brent on all the workouts that he won. He also beat Brent Fikowski those same times.
Shit.
Event 1, we kind of can't really judge, but I mean, he does have a faster time than him. Event 5,
he looks pretty athletic, John. He doesn't look. I don't see that big man kind of robot shit either. He looks pretty athletic. He looks like agile, right?
Yeah, but at 6'2", 6'3", I mean, he's going to have some of those are going to be a big disadvantage when you have some of those workouts.
Right. So like when he goes to the games, he could win events just like Fikowski. But the only difference is where Fikowski amazes us, like on event 2, where stuff he should do bad, he doesn't do bad. This guy will do bad. So he's going to end up being like, 20th place, but he'll be able to win events. So he's going to be really exciting.
Where did this dude come from? What country is he? And why didn't we know about him last year? I mean, it's remarkable to win 3 events, right?
He's from Belgium, and he was the one I was talking about earlier that he didn't submit his first workout of quarterfinals last year on time due to a time change.
Okay, so he's pissed.
Yeah.
Shoulders up high. I wonder if he's a former professional athlete. Doesn't he look like he played soccer or something?
I mean, they're usually pretty short. But any running workout, I know we didn't have like a long distance running workout. He's probably a dark horse to win the running workout because he got first in the sled run, and then he got first in the 800-meter run, beating Lazar. And did he beat Vellner? I know him and Vellner were very, very close. Did he?
I think he did. Yeah, it was within a second or two. Yeah, he was 256. So
a first in the world in that workout. So
in which workout? In which workout, John? Say that again.
Event 5, the snatch and the run.
But what runner was he on? What lane?
Ooh, not lane
8. So this workout number 5, this time 256 is the fastest in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
So he's not weak. That's 8 snatches and then get on the runner, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're 6'2" and 216 and you snatch 275, you're not very strong.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he didn't finish Linda.
Okay.
And he's huge.
Okay, I'm assuming that it was the bench press that stopped him.
I'm sure.
Probably. Yeah.
Ben Bodycomb. I think he used to be coached by Facundo before he was Mayhem. Not 100% on this. Is he a Mayhem athlete?
I don't know.
I do not know.
Shit. You know who does know? Mike Halpin, is that dude a Mayhem athlete?
He was tagging Facundo last year.
Yeah, I think he is. He also has like 14 years of judo. He's a judo pro. Gymnastics, probably, a lot of.
No one said you were weak, Jelly. We're sorry. We take that back. No,
I wouldn't mess with that guy.
Yeah, holy shit. Okay, well that explains why he moves so well.
You're weak, man. Get stronger. He's in Belgium. He's not coming over here.
He's gonna see you and throw you over a fence or something. 14 years of judo is no joke, dude. All right. Say, can you reword it?
I'm not gonna say I can beat you in a fight, but I can definitely snatch more than you, and you're 6'2". There ain't no.
Can you just instead reword it like, hey, Jelly, if you're in the area, come on by my gym and I'll help you with your snatch. How about that?
There you go.
I would love to do that.
Okay, then nice. Okay. I apologize,
Okay.
Jelly. But I would like to see you make a video of you throwing John over 6 foot pounds.
So in the chat, they said he's coached by Andre Houdet. Andre Houdet has one of the greatest forms in CrossFit in weightlifting. I love watching Andre Houdet lift. Like his technique on snatch and clean and jerk is top notch. I know he's not like Bronislaw as far as his strength numbers go, but the way he looks when he lifts, he's got some of the greatest technique in all of CrossFit. So he's in good hands as far as getting his lifting, at least technique up.
Good point. Logan Mars, 14 years of judo. John Young, he can teleport behind you at any point. Careful with the soap in the shower. Yeah, that is in your 13th year, you do get teleportation powers in judo. Well said. Everyone is a jelly expert. We're going to be before the show's over.
I'm excited. I'm excited for him at the games.
Wow. Here we go. Jared Graybill, the Zealous Games. 3 of the indie athletes from this event going to the games with Andre. That's huge.
That is.
Right? And Andre's going himself.
David Wield, no one moves a barbell like Houdet. I'm having issues with David. It's for a different show. Having issues. David, you need to fucking fall in line, motherfucker. Okay, Björgvin, Karl Guðmundsson, he looked excited. I'm not excited for him. Why am I freaking out? 8th place. It's not good, right? We're watching a changing of the guards, right? It's done. CrossFit as we know it from everything's different this year, right?
He had a very
maybe it started last year, but now
week.
Say it again.
It was similar to Justin Medeiros. Like if you look at, I don't know, just didn't seem like the same guy.
Yeah,
that we're used to seeing. I still think he's going to be top 10 in the games, but I'm probably not picking him ahead of Lazar. That's
who BK. Yeah. You're not picking BKG ahead of Lazar.
Yeah, I mean,
games no.
He almost.
BKG looks 20th, maybe 20th or below 20th place at the games this year.
I don't think that'll happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the games will be a little bit different than what we're seeing in these 7 events. So I would say there's a little bit of a disconnect between that. But from what we saw, there was nothing that was super impressive. I know he got 3rd in the last one and a 3rd at 285. Again, that's not, you put him in North America and that's not that impressive. So I don't see him breaking into the top 10 based off of how he performed right now.
Björgvin, Karl Guðmundsson.
I think he'll be around there.
I don't know, bro. Name is pronounced Jelle, not Jelly. I could
Jelle
make that shift. Jelle, holla.
Do you think Justin still has a chance to win the games?
He's hard to bet against. He's new though, John. You're comparing like an old piece of fruit to a new piece of fruit. I mean, right? Justin Medeiros is like,
that's fair.
You could just see it's a hiccup, right? And Björgvin, like he got 2 problems. He got the new kind of programming. He got the new dudes, and he's old. Sorry, 3 problems.
Yeah, the problem
Do you think
have
those
here,
are all valid? What I said? New kind of programming, old dudes and new dudes, like being old and new dudes. Are all
2 out of the 3 apply? The way Boz programs, I actually think suits BKG better. But he just had a bad weekend. I mean, if you look at his last 3 events though, 3rd, 11th, 3rd. So it was just really 2 events that he kind of bombed.
Who are you talking about?
BKG.
Oh, the 225ths. Okay, yeah. I see.
So like if those are 10th places, like what we're accustomed to seeing, he'd be 3rd, 10th, 3rd, 7th, 3rd.
Who did we see last week who had 226 and it fucking smoked them? They were done. It was a girl. You guys remember that? 220. There was a girl last week who had 226 place finishes, a female athlete, and we're like, oh, that's it for her. Do you remember who that is? She had 26 and 26, or was it earlier in the week? Yeah,
I don't remember. The problem I have though with comparing Medeiros and BKG is you look at who Medeiros got beat by versus who BKG
But he's
got beat
fitter
by.
though. He's fitter though. I'm comparing the same situation, but Justin is fitter. Like it's a different tier. It's just the same thing going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's no way that you can get top 10 at the games if you're falling behind Oldest and no offense to Bronislaw, but if you're right there with Bronislaw, he's not a top 10 athlete.
Listen, Bronislaw's coming. But no, your point's valid. Your point's valid.
Is he? He's coming. Bronslaw's coming. He's gonna. We're gonna see. This dude's gonna become a name for us that we say all the time.
Bronislaw had a very Colton-esque weekend, meaning he can win events. He's just gonna bomb events also.
Yeah,
there are gonna be events where Bronislaw gets, I mean, not last place, but like 35th. At the games, there's going to be events he's not going to do good, and we all know he's not going to do good. But then there's going to be events where he could blow everybody out of the water. And that's always fun to have at the games. I enjoy having specialists at the games as much as everybody wants to just have the, consistent guy. I like
just to give you guys an example here, we have Jelle Hoste has a 256 for event number 5. And I think that was Bronislav's worst event, right?
Yeah,
he
took not a runner.
He took 36th in it at 3:30, almost 35 seconds slower than him, which is huge in a 3-minute race. Wow, so that really is a huge discrepancy. I wonder what the biggest discrepancy is for which region for people who went to the games. Like basically their best and their worst finishes. Did Bronislaw have any first place finishes?
The snatch easily. He stopped at 295. He had another 40 seconds to load more up, but he knew
probably
he was going to win. Yeah.
And so that was pretty he had an emotional run too, right? He got in workout 3, took second, then workout 4, he took first, and then he fucking shit the bed.
I mean, he knew how he was going to do. He probably felt pretty good after event 5 because that was the worst one. It's out of the way, and he's still in a qualifying spot. Yeah. He knows event 6 is going to be fine for him. He knows event 7 is going to be fine for him.
Yeah, he and Hoste are identical, complete opposites. Which one does well in one, the other one's going to do well in the other.
If this were the CrossFit Games, I wouldn't ask this question. But since it's not the CrossFit Games, it's the semifinals, let me ask him. Is Lazar Đukić happy with first place? Or is he tripping that this guy Jelle got 3 firsts?
I think Lazar is happy.
He is happy? Okay. You don't think he's tripping a little bit? He's like, fuck.
Do you think?
Because if you win the games, it doesn't matter how you do it. But he's going to the semifinals. Who?
Do you think Vellner is tripping off Fikowski?
You mean because he's so close in second place?
I mean, Fikowski won almost 2-3 events. I mean, he won one easily. He came second in one, and then he was very, very close to.
Yeah, but Fikowski's supposed to. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Lazar's pumped. He took first. He's supposed to take first. He's the new hope for Europe. Icelandic male's gone. There's no Icelandic males left, right? That's it.
If anything, Lazar is like, well, BKG's kind of fading. I'm the guy now. They were neck and neck, and now they're not.
Yeah, for Lazar, I think this is important after Rogue, after what was the other, Dubai? Like he got a competition under his belt that showed he can have consistency, not get hurt, not have something weird go on, just build some confidence. And he was very, very consistent in some of the workouts that we didn't expect him to do great in.
Eaton Beaver, Sevan, I think he's talking about Bronislavski. He would be concerned if there wasn't a 34th place. I'm not sure I understand the comment. I want to understand it. Anthony TPA, Vellner, and Brent are out of these guys' leagues. Is that true?
Yep.
All these guys, even out of Janikowski's league?
Yep.
Holy shit. All right. You don't think of European men are of any consequence to the CrossFit Games. They're accoutrement, garnish. You think they're garnish, dressing, side, unnecessary stuff on the dinner table.
I think Lazar can get in the mix. I don't think he'll beat either of them, but I think he's
I don't think Lazar gets to the podium. You could say, 5th place, okay, but like I'm the top 3 guys. There's nobody in Europe close. and Vellner and Brent are in that conversation. I'm talking about the top 3, not just who's good, who can make the top 10, like the top. Nobody's close here.
So Laura Horvath kind of is Europe's hope, huh?
And
now she's gonna win the games. Wholeheartedly feel that.
Laura. Let me play this.
Did Laura's performance change your tune then, John?
None. That's what's funny. Is because she ended the week on a first and a first, right? Like Laura looked how she should look. Laura looked dominant. That's what I expected Roman to look like, and he didn't. So like I thought Roman would look like Laura. He's not going to win, and just because of the events, but he would. You could see, oh man, he's going to just crush people at certain things, right? Laura did that. And like she got the sled event, I don't care about. And then the 5th event, we've already talked about that. Laura, I didn't change my tune at all. If anything, it made it stronger. Gabby McGowan climbed up a little bit though, for sure.
Is this after Laura was crowned the champ, or is this after an event she won? I don't know. Does anyone know?
I think it's after event.
It's after. Yeah, no, it's after the final.
Okay,
you see the sandbags back there.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay, here we go. Thank you. They don't do but it's good. There she is. There, look at. If you don't think Laura Horvath's hot, there it is. Look at it. You'll never be able to unsee it. Crowd loves her, dude. Loves her. Thank you. She's kind of like a hot vampire.
She's too tan to be a vampire.
Fuck. Well, shit. She killed it. All right. I got to be careful with shit just pops up on the screen like that. I don't know why that popped up there. I don't think that exposes anything, right? That was weird.
What?
There was just a picture of Annie. Said another screenshot someone sent me, but I don't know the reason why someone sent me that. But I don't like how shit just pops up on my screen. Starts like rotating. What if it would have been like a close-up picture of an ingrown hair of mine or something? That'd been weird. I don't actually have any of those. Okay. The men too. Oh, this guy's cool looking, right? This guy.
Yeah, he's huge.
David been around.
Shrunk. Yeah. This guy kind of looks like a supermodel.
And Emma Tall's boyfriend.
That is Emma Tall's boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a great weekend. I bet they're partying it up right now. I think they expected one of them to go, and the other one I don't think they expected to go. So.
He's a team guy that's made the switch to individual.
No, he's
been around.
He's been around. He's just had injuries and just hasn't been able to.
And I think he is a collegiate rower.
Dude, he's perfect.
I rode for the national team, maybe.
This guy could change the sport. This is like the male Daniel Brandon.
Well, he's 33 years old, so how long is he going to change the sport?
Wow. He's fucking a movie star. Look at this cat. Holy shit. Yeah, do him and Emma Tall have kids?
Not yet.
What is that? Surprised that he's here? Surprised that he's in the mix?
Based on the programming, not as much, but I did not pick him to be qualifying. So
hey, he beat BKG.
Right.
He did. Like 8 other guys did too.
Sandwiched in there, BKG sandwiched in there between Bronislaw and David. And then this went down to 11th, Fabian Benito. He makes it in by 16 points over some guy who was representing the American Red Cross, Colin Bassard.
No, really not. That guy came out of nowhere too. That guy was nowhere to be found. Colin Bassard.
That's a great last name, by the way. Great last name.
Like he had a 9th and a 6th. It wasn't really in the conversation until after event 7. Fabian Benito had an amazing comeback though, 5th and 12th. I don't know if it's more of a comeback or more of a Antoine Dumaine
meltdown.
Yeah, man, that guy.
Oh, so you're saying Fabio didn't make a comeback. You're saying he actually should have done better and just had a shitty weekend?
No, I mean he did have a great last day, but a 5th and a 12th, it wasn't like he sent it and made it happen.
Yeah, Dumaine had a 43rd and a 30th on Sunday.
Yeah,
so.
go down, Sevan, go down to Antoine Dumaine.
Oh, this guy shit the bed?
Yeah.
43rd and a 3rd. Okay.
He was in 10th place, and then before day 3, he was in 10th or 9th place before day 3, and then 43rd and a 30th.
No Zanoni, huh? That's too bad. Enrico's fun to look at.
That was surprising, especially on 6.
Yeah.
That sucks. He's great. And did Germany have a dude there or a girl there that's going to the games? Is Germany sending someone to the games? It was in Berlin, right?
Moritz.
Moritz Fiebig.
Oh, that's cool. All right. I these guys, Henrik, Moritz, and Uldis are all the same person to me. Is it like that for you too? Like, or can you can tell them apart if I showed you pictures of them?
Can you say it again? Who?
Henrik, Uldis, and Moritz. They're all the same guy.
They're all very different people.
Oh, right. Well, to me, it's like they're all the same guy. It's so weird. It's so they're like they're dudes with shaved heads to me. Do they all have shaved heads?
No, just Moritz. But Henrik is a giant,
blonde.
yellow.
He's blonde. You just can't see his hair.
Yeah.
NV, I wonder if Sevan can get through an entire show without mentioning my mom. I'll try. I'll absolutely try. Dude, do not this show is not for you. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, go. The show's not for you. Danielle Brandon. The fuck out of here. Obsession is creepy. I'm gonna text Danielle and tell her you said that about her. All right. Overall, any closing words about the European semifinals, Mr. Young? Anything you want to say? A well-run event. Did the semifinals get better as the weeks went on? The judging, the story about the carpet, the tug carpet.
Yeah, there wasn't any sled controversy this week, just a runner controversy. So I take that with what you will.
Okay.
No, I mean, good weekend. It wasn't as much drama as last week. But I mean, I think the right people made it in. It's exciting. I'm excited to see. You want to talk about Gabby? We didn't talk about her at all, and she beat everybody.
Okay, let me ask you this. I got a question for you about Gabby. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
When we see someone like Gabby do so well, take first place, is that uplift her stock more than when we see someone like Justin Medeiros take a 6th, 7th, or 8th in terms of how much it lowers him? Like, are we like all of a sudden hot on Gabby Magawa more than normal? I mean, we've always kept her in the top, 5.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it hurts.
But no one thinks she can win the games, right?
Yeah, I still wouldn't pick her to win the games.
But now look at her. Here she is.
That's a great thought.
25 points, dude.
I equate her very much to what Lazar did. Like,
okay,
it puts them in that discussion of sniffing the podium, but I don't think we'd put him or her on the podium.
You
sniffing the podium
before you can. You have to do it before you like put them in that category. Like at the games physically, you have to come like at least 4th or 3rd before you we're putting you up there. Like the semifinals just doesn't move the needle. What's funny is I still think the majority of people are going to pick Justin to win. So as far as hurting his stock, I don't know if it hurt his stock that much. He's still going to be 1st or 2nd for everybody. And that's what he would have been in if he would have won 1st.
You are shocked that she beat Laura Horvat by 50 points.
I mean, 50 points. That sounds enormous.
Yeah, right.
So I am shocked about that. It doesn't dissuade what a games field would do for me and what 15 events would do for me. Same with Annie. I thought Annie would beat Laura, and I was right in that. I just didn't think Gabby would beat both of them.
Put it to him.
Gabby had an incredible weekend.
Let me read this to you. Gabby did the same thing 2 years ago, right? Question mark. Is that true? Did she win? Has she won semifinals before?
Yeah, but it's a different
It's
story
not this
combining them.
Yeah. This is the greatest. This is all the best European women, not divided into.
And she got third. Yeah, Gabby got third the last 2 years at the Lowlands Throwdown. So.
Oh, well, look at this. Emma in 2021, Emma McQuaid won it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Emma McQuaid won it. I'm not putting Emma McQuaid ahead of Laura or Annie. Ever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. When you start thinking at the games, you have to think about it's not going to be the exact same type of programming. So this is just one stage, and you got to think about what they've done already and what could Bosman do that's different. And these workouts favored the taller, stronger, more powerful athletes. So what does that do in 2 months when he starts programming for Madison?
This is something I'm really disappointed that Halpin didn't notice. There's only one female European athlete that drinks Paper Street coffee. Use code word Sevan and get a discount on your coffee. And she came in first place. That is true. Gabby Magawa drinks Paper Street coffee, and she came in first place.
That's a great stat.
There's a lot of athletes who drink Paper Street coffee who are now going to the games.
Wow, Spin. I thought I was about to have to hang up on you, Spin. I had the kick from studio button ready. So that turned out
I mean, you look at Sydney, you look at Ariel. I think maybe Alex Gazan does too. I mean, he has quite a roster there. He knows how to pick them. Maybe we should have him do some predictions.
Gabby showed some great athlete maturity this weekend. The way she got Annie during Linda. I didn't get to see that workout. I don't
know if that's maturity or I think she just went as fast as she could.
She didn't pace it? You don't think she was pacing it and passed them? The way I'm picturing
No. It was a photo finish.
And Annie got a no rep on the second clean in the round of 2 that gave Gabby an opportunity.
I wouldn't call that maturity. She just was racing and was faster.
Holy shit. She beat her by 2/100ths of a second.
Yeah.
Gabrielle Magawa beat Annie Thorsdottir by 2/100ths of a second in Linda with an 11:08.95 and 11:08.97. That is crazy. I didn't know that. You guys had fun without me.
That was a good finish.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. All right.
It's probably the best race of Linda throughout all 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Chris G, the sled was a joke. CrossFit cutting corners to save money on equipment. They should have used the small Echo Rogue ones. Would have been an even playing field. Those are like the kind of like those portable steel ones that you can almost like fold up and throw in a duffel bag. You saying
that's what I used to test it out or do the workout after losing a bet to John this past week. So
nice. Duzdi, PLN 1199. Greetings from. That is a very simple. What country do you think that is?
Poland.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Greetings to you too, my friend. Greetings. Okay. Any thoughts, Mr. Spin? I think John used up all of his time.
No, I think you see the athlete. I think with more time, you see the athletes you expect to do well. Just because they have more time to prepare, they know how to strategize some of these things better than the first week where it was, you kind of have to show up and figure it out on the fly. So, I think there's a handful of women that are in Europe that I think can do very well at the games. On the men's side, I'm not sure you're going to see that as much, but it was good to watch and see some of the new athletes that you may not have heard before, and get a preview of what they'll look like at the games.
Out of the Northwest, Torian Pro, and Europe. Which athlete had the most points?
It's a good question.
Men.
All right. Those are the kind of questions we'll be answering this week when we start to do recap shows as Mr. Spin, Mr. Halpin dig through the information, and John will come in and critique it. So will hopefully Tyler Watkins. We have a big week coming up. Tomorrow we have Michelle Bassinet. It will be interesting to see as these guys crunch the numbers to see how many athletes were able to stay within the top 10 all week, if any. It seemed like it was a pretty, even for the winners, it was a pretty broad variances of finishes. Even Gabby has a 14th on workout 2. JR and Taylor will be on sometime throughout the week to talk about why that is and talk about the programming. We have another data point? Are we in a new era with Adrian Bosman? Have the young kids finally taken over? Are the old guys gone? Is Iceland a moot point in the CrossFit game space? Fun shit like that. All right, guys. Thank you. Great show. Sorry about the last minute. And I'll see you guys soon. Everyone, thank you. Talk to you guys soon. I guess Andrew's still asleep. He never popped in the studio. Bye-bye.